A torrent of news, rumor, and innuendo on Tuesday, all related to this potential rival golf league and PGA Tour pros considering perhaps jumping to a rival league. This was from Kramer Hickok, a PGA Tour player, on a podcast. On tour, we've got the players bumping up to $20 million, and the issue we're having on tour is getting the majors to bump up their purses because technically we're getting a small piece of the pie. So for more, we head out to Los Angeles. Welcome in Rex Hoggard from Riviera. Rex, how are the majors a part of this story?
I think they're going to be a huge part of this story. And actually, what Kramer mentioned in that podcast is something that's been talked about on the PGA Tour for a long time, a decade. Actually, Brandt Snedeker brought this up back in 2014 after Fox had signed a TV rights deal with the USGA to televise the U.S. Open and the other championships that the USGA handles. And part of that conversation was it was reported for $100 million a year, the TV rights deal. And at the time, the purse for the U.S. Open was only $9 million. And so it led to a broader conversation about exactly how much of the revenue from the major championships that these players play in is being poured back into purses and back to the players. Now, I had a chance to talk to Brandt about this yesterday, and he's looked at this really for about a decade and had an idea, and he said his estimate is between 10 to 15% of the revenue goes back into purses. Now, that's for the U.S. Open, PGA Championship, and Open Championship, the Masters, and Augusta National as a private club, and that's a little bit different conversation. But Brandt pointed out this isn't necessarily about larger purses, it's about transparency, and the conversation all along is the players just want to have a say in exactly the product that they're involved in. He pointed out that in other sports, the NBA, for example, they have a much different scenario. The NBA collective bargaining agreement calls for roughly a 50-50 split between players and teams for all basketball-related income, and all he was looking for was transparency. And he pointed out, he agreed with Kramer that the majors are going to have to be part of this larger narrative when we talk about the Super Golf League and the PGA Tour, which is essentially becoming a bidding war. And Brandt also said that he has no interest whatsoever in playing the Super League, and he actually went so far as saying he would warn other players to consider what they're thinking about doing before they jump ship and leave the PGA Tour. And it's something that a lot of players are doing right now, including Collin Morikawa, who on Tuesday here at Riviera was asked his thoughts on the Super Golf League.
As it goes to the Saudi stuff, like I'm all for the PGA Tour. You know, look, I've done this. I've been a pro for 2.5 years. My entire life, I've thought about the PGA Tour. I've thought about playing against Tiger, beating his records, whatever, you know, some that might not even be breakable. But I've never had another thought of what's out there, right? I've never thought about anything else. Like, it's always been the PGA Tour. And has it opened up things for us as professional golfers to open up, you know, things for the PGA Tour to look at what to do better? Absolutely. I mean, we've seen a lot of changes, some good, some bad, some that are still going to be amended, I'm sure, as time goes on. But right now, I mean, you look at the best players, you know, that I see, and they're all sticking with the PGA Tour, and that's where I kind of stay, and that's where I belong, and I'm very happy to be here. The only way, you know, I can start thinking about other tours, other leagues, whatever you call it, I need concrete evidence. I need to be able to see a sheet in front of me and know what's out there, right? And as of now, for what I know, I don't know what's out there. All I've heard are rumors, all I heard is talk, and that's hard to do, right? I mean, it's like asking everyone here to go join another media company, and I'm just going to tell you, oh, I promise you there's going to be this, or there's going to be this. But you only heard it not from me, not from who's starting it, but just from other people. It's kind of hard to know what exactly is there until I see it concrete. And that's just not how I live my life. Like, I need details. I'm really specific about things. And from my end, I couldn't get what I needed, and here we are.
Just to clarify, going back to the Saudi thing, are you saying you were all in on the PGA Tour, or if they'd come to you back in November, December and said, here's our schedule, here's the payment, clarity, it was something you would have considered?
You have to consider things. I think, you know, it's someone who's 25 who has played on tour for let's call it 3 years. You know, I couldn't close off my doors because I don't know where golf is going to go. I mean, what if it did? What if we all went to go play whatever, you know, X tour? You would have to go over there. Or you'd want to go over there because that's where the best people are. But so, you know, my doors, I was still open to learning because I want to learn what's out there. I want to know the details, too. I don't want to keep hearing it from other people say, you need to go talk to this person, you need to do this. Like, this is what they have, this is what they don't have. Yeah, I mean, of course. Like, if there were more details, maybe I would have thought about it more. Maybe I would have given it more of a decision, and I would have to sit down and ask more questions. But it's hard to ask questions when, you're not getting answers either. So it's kind of, right? Like, no one would keep asking me questions here if I just said yes or no, or maybe we would. So, yeah, that's kind of how it is.